You?
You can start with me, Michelle. That's all good. I know you're not racist, so no concerns here.
Your thoughts on all this?
Well, I feel vindicated because 2 years ago I said that this organization was a disingenuous scam, and it has proven itself to be a disingenuous scam. Yeah. The Black Lives Matter organization, this foundation in the USA, is a grift. They have received millions upon millions of dollars, I believe over $100 million, I think just in 2020, it was close to 100 million. So this organization has been capitalizing off of unfortunate deaths and tragedies and guilt-tripping people to send them lots of money and donations, which I believe most people think is going to go to a good cause. And instead, they are paying themselves 6- and 7-figure salaries. They're flying around in private jets. They bought a $6 million mansion. They've got over, I think, what was it? It's written here. They have, I think, they invested $32 million in stocks in 2020 with donation money. So this is an outright scam. So when we talk about Black Lives Matter, it's important to note that this is a semantically overloaded phrase intentionally. It refers to at least 3 different things. There is the statement, the basic phrase, Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Everybody agrees, every decent human being around the world, across the political spectrum, agrees that Black Lives Matter because all human lives matter and should be treated with respect and dignity. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is the organization or organizations. I think in the USA, this one we're referring to is the primary Black Lives Matter organization. And a lot of people don't know that there is an organization with founders, with people who are receiving the money. It's a nonprofit, and they've been raking it in. They've been raking in the money over the past few years. And as we've seen here, they have been spending it on enriching themselves. And it's essentially money laundering. I think what they've done here is most likely illegal.
Yeah, so I have to say that they would say in their own defense that they've not done anything wrong.
Well, I mean, anyone can look at these articles and these numbers here. Paid the baby father $970,000 for creative services, paid the brother the $840,000 for security. Fellow director got $2.1 million. This is all just in 1 year. I think it's very clear even from this conversation and all the conversations every time BLM comes up is that it is divisive. It's divisive. This is stoking racial tension, not just in the it's crazy it's been imported to the UK. But in the USA, it's exactly the same. You had cities on fire in 2020. There was so much tension. Multiple people got killed. Over 20 people got killed in the BLM protests and riots in 2020. So this started from one black man getting killed, and then you've got another few dozen getting killed.
But Zuby, some of these organisations, they'll say to you, but Zuby, you are oppressed, and we're here to help you.
I'm not oppressed. They're not there to help me, and they're not helping me. They're not helping black people in general. They are helping themselves. The way you stop racism is by people not being racist. It's not by calling everyone racist. It's not by making false and unkind accusations against everyone. It's not about virtue signaling and putting up hashtags and black squares and kneeling down. It's about simply treating people as equals. That's all it takes.
And do you buy into, in this day and age, because there is a suggestion that in the here and now, in this day and age, that many aspects of society, whether it's institutions or whatever, are fundamentally racist. Do you think that that is the case in today's society?
I don't think it's the case, and I don't think it's useful. These terms, systemic, structural, institutional racism, they're popular because they're these apparitions, they're these ghosts where you never need to define anything or be precise. You just say, oh, the system is racist, the institution's racist. You can just throw it out there and people just nod and cheer, but you can't fix a problem like that. If you want to deal with individual instances of racism, you need to be able to identify them, highlight them, and then you can deal with that individual issue. If you just say, oh, the whole thing, the whole system, the whole country, top to down, is racist, then that doesn't help anyone apart from the activists.
Yeah, but I've even got to sit there for a moment. I think, oh, God, should I be going to you first or shouldn't I be going to that first? Oh.
See, and this shows what this has all done, because I imagine a few years ago, that wouldn't even have crossed your mind.
I would have come to you out of a respect.
Right? It wouldn't have crossed your mind, but they've created this whole context where people don't even know what they can do. They feel uncomfortable. They've been teaching people from children to adults that they've all got this inherent racism in them and that we shouldn't be colorblind and everyone should be seeing color and all of that. And it's regressive. It's not progressive at all. It's moving people backwards.
What worries?
I think it just comes from people being decent and charitable and empathetic, right? I think we live in this time where people like to use all of these different topics as weapons,
Yes.
right? People want to be able to jump in, and I can understand why some people revel in it, because it's quite easy to do. You see this in some of the modern branches of feminism. You're seeing this with people who are doing it with race. People did it with the whole COVID situation, right? Anyone who dissents is anti-science and an anti-vaxxer and hates people and wants to kill grandma and so on.
So
And
you make money from it. I
Yeah, people
mean,
make money
identity
off it.
I've got to
politics.
say, Zuby, there's an awful lot of love, respect. A few people saying they think they do love you, actually.
There's a cue, ladies.
There's a lot of love for you coming through, because I think that people, it's refreshing to hear an alternate perspective on this, because for a very long time you have been told, and I do stand by what I've just said, you have been essentially told, if you don't change your Instagram black, then you're a racist. If you don't take the knee, you're a racist. And it's all well and good you say, oh yeah, well, you can choose to take the knee. Yeah, of course you can choose what you do. But if you choose not to do that for your own personal reasons, then you will be vilified by many in society.